Hey, what's going on? It's your man Zaze representing Zaze Sports. I'm doing my blog number 4 right now. And what I wanted to talk about was playoff 8 seeds. There's nothing I love more in this world than an underdog. And I love being the underdog, although, unfortunately, when you are the underdog, you don't win too many championships. You win some games, you win some series, but it's very, very rare, seldom, that the Rudy effect comes into play, if you know what I mean, the underdog story. So basically, I'm talking NBA and NHL right now. So let's start with the tip top. Toronto Maple Leafs, right there. So the Leafs came into the series playing the President's Trophy winning Washington Capitals. The Capitals absolutely demolished it in the NHL this year. They clinched the President's Trophy with 6 or 7 games left in the season. Went into the series as heavy favorites. In fact, the heaviest favorite of all teams to win a series in the first round. The Leafs have taken them to overtime in all 3 of the first games. Game 4 is tonight. It is April 18th, or it might be it's April 19th, my bad, 2017. And tonight is Game 4. So Game 1, we ended up losing in the first overtime. Game 2, we won in the second overtime to tie the series up. And Game 3, back in Toronto, I don't want to say absolutely dominated them, but we were the better looking team for the majority of the game. And it was quite mind-blowing and refreshing as a Leaf fan to watch. But the Leafs are up 2-1 right now and looking pretty good going into tonight. Don't be surprised if Washington ties it. They're a very good and tough team, but got to keep your faith in the corner. Leafs are looking very nice right now, and you can't mess with the kids, man. And the second number 8 in the NHL is the Nashville Predators playing the won 3 of the last 6 Stanley Cups Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Blackhawks are an unstoppable force in today's NHL over the past 10 years, as we know. And again, they won their conference. They were the first place team in the conference. I believe they finished with about 108 points. Nashville finished in 8th. They don't play tonight. Tomorrow, they play Game 4, and Nashville has a 3-0 lead in the series. They beat them 1-0 in Game 1 and 5-0 in Game 2. Playoff shutouts are tough to come by, and Pekka Rinne put up 2. And last game, they won in overtime. I believe it was 5-4 in Nashville, and they're playing in Nashville as well tomorrow. The first 2 games they won were in Chicago, as we know. The underdogs start on the road to start series. So between the Leafs and Nashville, the 2 teams are 5-1. The Leafs have the only loss between them playing the 1 seeds. 8 seeds, 5-1 in the NHL right now. Now let's go over to the NBA. I will talk about the Golden State Warriors first because they are the most uninteresting story but worth mentioning because they are a 1 seed playing the 8 seed, which is the Portland Trail Blazers, who I got to give them credit. They made a big push at the end of the year. They won, I believe it was 15 of their last 18 games or something of that nature to make the playoffs and clinch with 2 or 3 games left over the Denver Nuggets. Nobody people thought they had too much of a chance, and that's a fair thought because Golden State looks just nasty. They have almost the same team they did when they won the championship, and now including Kevin Durant, which is absolutely ridiculous. You can't add Kraft Dinner, KD. I didn't mean to say Kraft Dinner. KD to the mix on top of already championship statistics and expect something to come out less than that. So you got to give Golden State the credit where they deserve. They're up 2-0 in the series right now. They have taken care of business pretty well. I think they won by double digits both games, and they look to take that pretty easily. That is the only regular story of the first round 1-8 seeds. The second 1-8 seed is the Chicago Bulls playing the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics are one of the most unorthodox number 1 seeds in the NBA. More unorthodox than I truly believe the Raptors had a shot to take the 1 seed, and I truly believe, although Cleveland is the true 1 seed in our conference, the Raptors would have looked better in the 1 seed and held it down a little more than Boston would have. Although playing Chicago, we all know the Raptors woes. I think we've won 1 of our last 12 games against Chicago, and the one was actually the last game when we came back from 24 points and won the game in overtime, which was absolutely a crazy win, but not a team that Raptors fans want to play. We know that 100%. But I knew Chicago would be a test. They just got Wade back. Jimmy Butler's doing well. They seem to put together some good games, and they put together some bad ones in the mix as well. But when it's crunch time, they've been doing pretty well with themselves lately. And they now have a 2-0 series lead on the Boston Celtics. And Boston does not look good, and it's going into Chicago now for 2 games. And if we all know, winning on the road in the NBA is a very hard thing to do. So Boston to come back and tie this series after these 2 games, I don't see it happening. I do see them taking one of the 2. Still, a 3-1 series lead is stranglehold. A 2-0 series lead going home is a stranglehold in itself. So Chicago looks good. The only time in NBA history that a number 8 seed has beaten a number 1 seed, and this could be the second time in history. It's kind of funny because the number 1 seed that I just talked about, which is the only number 1 seed looking great, holding it down, and probably no scare, they're going to take it, is Golden State. Don't expect them to go to the conference finals, probably play San Antonio, maybe get to the NBA finals. They're probably the favorite. It's going to be a good matchup. But either way, the only 8 seed to ever beat a 1 seed, I believe, was in 2007 or 2008, but it was the Golden State Warriors. Baron Davis was the point guard at the time, and they beat the Dallas Mavericks as the 1 seed. I believe the Mavericks won the title a year or 2 after that, but this has happened once before, and it's kind of ironic because now the only 8 seed, the only 1 seed that is not being upset by an 8 seed right now is the Golden State Warriors. So that brings a little irony to the situation. It's I like it. I like these things. That's why I like sports. You know, it's got these situations, keeps it interesting. The numbers are always there. You could tell a story within the numbers and story outside the numbers as well. But yeah, so basically, wrapping it up, 8 seeds, Boston Celtics losing 2-0 to the Chicago Bulls. Also, rest in peace to Isaiah Thomas's sister. She passed away, and he has been playing with that on his shoulders. So that's a heavy heart right there, and I can't blame the guy if he doesn't come out with everything he's got. But he's still trying, and he's still the number 1 guy in that team. But anyway, so Boston Celtics down 2-0 to the Chicago Bulls, 8-1. Golden State Warriors are up 2-0 on the Portland Trailblazers. That is a 1 beating 8. In the NHL, we have the 8 Maple Leafs playing the 8 Maple Leafs playing the number 1 Washington Capitals with a 2-1 lead going into tonight, still in Toronto. They could take a 3-1 lead or the series may be tied. We're looking for that 3-1 lead though. And the number 8 seed in the West, which is the Nashville Predators, playing the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks are down 3-0. Now the Blackhawks are a team that could come back from a 3-0 deficit, but the way Nashville's playing right now and how hard it is to score on Pekka Rinne, I don't see that happening. And Nashville deserves some second and third round games for once in their lives because it's been a long time since. I don't think they've ever really done anything to depths. I think they made the second round once or twice in their history. But yeah, so the 8 seeds. Watch out for the underdogs, people. NBA, this might be the second time in NBA history this happens, number 1. And in the NHL, the LA Kings as an 8 seed won the Stanley Cup, I believe in about 2008 or 2009. It was a little bit ago. It might even be 2010. It was in the past 10 years. I want to say the past 7 or 8. But the NHL is one league that the 8 seed has potential to do damage. And people deserve to be scared. When they say Leafs have planted the seed of doubt in Washington, believe that. The seed of doubt is beyond. It's grown into a plant of doubt in Nashville, or Chicago, I should say. And same with Boston, and like I said, the Golden State. I don't mean to repeat myself, but yeah, I'll wrap this up. This is Zaze Sports signing out, episode 4. Catch that Leaf game tonight. Raptors won to tie the series last night. Here we go, baby. That's what's up. 2017, sports all day and all night.